So I gave up on grinding this entire thing down like I was. It's a much faster to just cut like this, since I have the bottom carved and I had this already notched a little bit and I had lines scribed all around. I've measured them to make sure they're the same, top and bottom. So what I'm doing now is I'm cutting to meet hopefully down at the other side. And then what I'll do is I'll take out the grinder and I'll cut away whatever's left and make sure that everything's running true from end to end. So I'm still not done. I still have a couple more sides to take down. The balance is much better if you spin it now. That's a lot better than it was. Still quite a hump in the center. You see pretty clearly it's still has a bulge. The square is just for reference, because if you stare straight down at it, it doesn't give you any clues at all as to whether or not there's a high spot. So that helps a little bit. I'm not going to bother recording me shaving and running the grinder, but that's what the next. All right, I think it's about as done as I want to get it. I think that's pretty good. Now I just have to figure out how I want to attach this, and if I want to chisel out a little home for it. These are going to get anchored on either end with some 7/16 inch all thread drilled all the way through. Doesn't look dead center at all. It is not. All right, I clearly did something wrong here. Measure twice, cut once. All right, that is zeroed. I'll bet this isn't an inch. Ah, 1 1/4 inches. All right, so 3/4 of an inch. These will be the holes closest to the base of the anvil, which, by the way, as I was lining this up, I realized that I didn't have the same amount of space on both sides. The reason for that is the anvil, the body of the anvil with respect to the sides of the base is off by about 30 thousandths of an inch, so over 1/4 of an inch. That's why I've got this other line in here. I knocked it over just a little bit to kind of put the strike zone as close to dead center as I really care to. And you can see here I've made myself a dot so that I can line this up so that it goes, so that when the all thread comes out the back, it's not coming off at some weird angle. Because what I found before was it would kind of skip, and if I didn't get dug in really well, it would just kind of keep kicking out, and I would lose my reference. But I didn't pay attention to my reference here, so it started kicking out a little bit. So I'm going to have to. All right, there. I think that's good. I think I got it. So here it is with the all threaded through. You can tell that it doesn't fit exactly the way I had drawn out the lines on the top. I'm not sure what I did wrong. Clearly there was something that I didn't take into account when I was setting this up and then drilling the holes. I'll have to be more careful when I do this one, since I'm not going to have any more wiggle room. I won't bother showing those. But the idea is that the other all thread the other direction is going to cross like out here, far out enough to where it's not going to, there's no chance in interfering, or, I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter up here, but you see down here, it looks good. I don't know if I'm going to need that much through, probably not. Here's another thing I'm going to do. As you can see, this doesn't fit in there very well. And so I'm actually going to chisel this out. Not sure if I'm going to use like a Forstner bit. I'm just going to give myself a reference here. That's why I wanted to draw that, because it's going to definitely be off center. I think I might just start working that out with a chisel and see how it goes. I didn't feel like grabbing my sharpest chisel, and I didn't feel like sharpening this one, so I'm just going to go slow. Try not to do anything stupid. All right, you can see here's how far I am now. I've just had to just carve it out. I took a drill bit and drilled some holes in there because I realized that I had to go down quite a bit in the back, but not very much in the front at all. So I just started taking a drill bit and just drilling around the perimeter to get down there, and then just chopping it out with the chisel. I apologize. I picked the most inconvenient area of my shop to do this, and there's no room for me to move. So yeah, I like the way that fits. Gives me some clearance here for the screw head. It's not jutting out quite as far as it was before. Still a little bit. I'm still gonna have to watch it, but that's, you know, pretty much in a workshop. Yep, that's what I should have done all along. Broken out the carving tools. So before I get started, I just wanted you to see what I did here. So this is the axis through the round, and you can see that this is slightly off. It's partly due to the curvature of the piece, and partly due to the fact that I didn't drill as straight as I'd hoped. So instead of carving the depth straight down this way, it's going to be off axis a little bit, and this one would have been, you know, as you can see, this one wound up being that too. I just had to kind of eyeball it. So this hole I carved using some carving tools that I've got. Those aren't even great ones. Those are like average run-of-the-mill carving tools from Woodcraft. I almost said Harbor Freight. From Woodcraft. I think you'll agree that that hole looks better than the original one. So I don't know what happened with the rest of the footage from the Anvil project, but you can see here it's completed. It's actually been completed for quite some time. I've been using it. It works really well. It's really solid for the size of anvil that I've got here. It's only a 70-pounder. And this is a look at the project from all three sides now that it's done. Hey, Sushi. Worked out really well. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope you found this useful.